We are joined now by, I think, one of the funniest mofos in the English language at the moment. And gosh, Leah and Morris in the last half hour just talking particularly about black books and the humour of black books, the IT crowd, Father Ted. And our guest Graham Linehan is, well, the creator, co-creator in some instances of all those brilliant pieces of televised comedy. But he's also a man who has faced, I guess, the modern equivalent of a witch hunt.
Graham Linehan, born May 22nd, 1968 in Dublin, Ireland, is a renowned television writer, director, and author. He gained prominence through his work on several iconic British sitcoms, most notably Father Ted, which he co-wrote with Arthur Mathews. But his career has recently been overshadowed by controversy due to his outspoken views on transgender issues. Let's find out how Graham Linehan rose, fell, and what happened to his marriage. Life and career.
But they will never take away your talent. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. You are a generational talent, Graham.
Oh, mate.
You
I
are.
really appreciate it. Thank you.
You inspired me. I'm starting to tear up now.
Linehan's journey into comedy began in journalism. He wrote for several Irish publications where he honed his skills in crafting humorous and engaging content. But his real breakthrough came in the mid-1990s when he partnered with Arthur Mathews to co-write Father Ted. This sitcom, which aired from 1995 to 98, follows the adventures of three Irish priests living on the fictional Craggy Island. The show is celebrated for its clever writing, memorable characters, and satirical take on Irish life and the Catholic Church. Father Ted quickly became a cultural phenomenon. The show's unique blend of absurdity, slapstick, and biting satire resonated with audiences, making it a timeless classic in British comedy canon. It also established Linehan and Mathews as formidable talents in television. Following the success of Father Ted, he continued to leave his mark on British comedy with Black Books, which he co-created with comedian Dylan Moran. Known for its dark humor and offbeat characters, Black Books was well received by both critics and viewers, further cementing Linehan's reputation for creating innovative and timeless comedy. Arguably, his most significant contribution to British television is the It Crowd. Created, written, and often directed by Linehan, the show aired from 2006 to 2013. It centers around the dysfunctional IT department of the fictional Rainhome Industries, focusing on the interactions between the socially inept Ross, the work-shy Roy, Chris O'Dowd, and their clueless manager, Jen, Catherine Parkinson. The show's clever writing, eccentric characters, and satirical take on office culture struck a chord with audiences, making it a hit both in the UK and internationally. It received numerous accolades, including a BAFTA for Best Situation Comedy and an International Emmy Award for Best Comedy. Linehan's impact on British comedy extends beyond his own creations. His work has influenced a generation of comedians and writers who admire his ability to blend humor with sharp social commentary. The success of his shows has also helped to pave the way for other comedy writers and creators, many of whom consider Graham to be their role model. Throughout his career, Linehan has been recognized for his contributions to television. He's won several BAFTAs, International Emmys, and British Comedy Awards. His career is a testament to his talent, creativity, and influence in British comedy. Graham speaks.
Because it seems to be getting a bit better. Is it people are sort of being a bit more open about it? Richard Ayoade wrote, I mean, didn't write about that, but he wrote about your book, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, you know, I have a feeling that's why you can't be too angry about people not speaking up, because I have a feeling a lot of people want to speak up, but it's just hard to find a way to do so.
Graham Linehan has become a controversial figure due to his outspoken views on transgender issues. Over recent years, Linehan has been vocal on social media and various platforms, expressing strong opposition to transgender activism. He argues that the movement undermines women's rights and has questioned the validity of gender identity, which has placed him at odds with many LGBTQ+ advocates and organizations. The controversy surrounding Linehan began to intensify around 2018, when he started using his Twitter account to voice his opinions on gender identity and transgender rights. His frequent and often confrontational tweets have led to widespread backlash. Critics argue his views are harmful, transphobic, and contribute to the marginalization of transgender people. This backlash culminated in Twitter permanently suspending his account in 2020 for violating their policies on hateful conduct. The fallout from his comments has had a tangible impact on his career. Many view his remarks as divisive and damaging, overshadowing his contributions to comedy. Linehan has stated that he feels unfairly treated and that he is defending women's rights and free speech. However, his critics see his actions as part of a broader issue of transphobia and discrimination. Graham Linehan's wife divorced him immediately after this happened.
Well, Graham Linehan is with me now. You wrote a piece in the papers at the weekend. You say you've been vilified on social media and that you've even lost work as a result of speaking out in this trans debate. Why have you got yourself mired in this? You're not a trans person, you're not a woman. Why have you made this your issue?
Linehan's persistent and confrontational stance on social media, particularly on Twitter, where he frequently shared his views, culminated in his permanent suspension from the platform in 2020 for violating policies on hateful conduct. The ban was seen as a significant moment, highlighting the extent of the backlash against him. His remarks have been widely condemned as transphobic by LGBTQ+ advocates and organizations. The reaction from the comedy community has been particularly striking. Many colleagues and former collaborators have distanced themselves from Linehan, notably Bill Bailey, who starred in Black Books, a show co-created by Linehan, expressed his disappointment and disagreement with Linehan's views. Bailey, along with other prominent figures in the industry, has emphasized the importance of inclusivity and respect for transgender rights, marking a clear divergence from Linehan's stance. Journalist John Ronson, who wrote extensively about the dangers and the evil of cancel culture, hasn't defended Graham Linehan either. Furthermore, the backlash has had tangible impacts on Linehan's career. A planned musical adaptation of Father Ted was shelved indefinitely in 2020, reportedly due to concerns over his controversial views. The ostracism from the comedy community is a stark contrast to the earlier phase of Linehan's career when he was celebrated for his contributions to iconic shows like Father Ted and the It Crowd. What the future holds for him, only time will tell. The activism has left Graham Linehan, likely one of the most financially successful comedy writers, in shambles. He has gone on record stating that he's been struggling financially since the backlash, and it has even sadly led to the breakup of his marriage. He was married to Helen Serafinowicz for 16 years and has 2 children with her. He had several legal and financial issues due to his views and even had several visits from the police. The strain took its toll on both of them, and he and his wife ended their marriage in 2020. It should be noted, however, that there is still support for Graham Linehan. Many industry colleagues recognize his achievements and his influence on their own careers. In private, there are probably other entertainers who feel strongly about the same issues that Graham is concerned with, but unlike him, are afraid to speak out. Like J.K. Rowling, he's been met with scorn, but when one is as iconic as he is, surely the flame simply won't be extinguished so easily. Sadly, his personal life may always be strained. Whether he will reunite with his wife or not, we'll have to wait and see. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you think Graham Linehan will recover his career following this controversial episode of his life? Or are his views so controversial that he'll eventually fade away from the limelight? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below.